Hey everyone, I'm David Room. Tonight we're going to be working on more 3D space art with Python and Blender. It's late at night. I am tired, but I'm staying up because this is my time to work on my project, and probably not going to be talking a whole lot um, necessarily tonight, but if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to interact with people come around, but the default is just going to be programming and working on some stuff, probably doing some layout and tweaking in Blender. I'm going to try to start a new scene. I've been wanting to do a scene with two ships. That's been something that's on my backlog. And I also just started using Blender 5.0, and I'm doing some new experimentation with some new shader capability in Blender 5.0. So let's get into it. I'm going to get some music started. White Bat Audio, as usual, this is their atmospheric spacewave synthwave playlist called Starship. I'll kick that off and let's get right into it. So I'm going to be creating a new script for the project. If you're new to watching my stuff, I am making art with code. So when I make a new art project, I make a new script that when I run it will load various components that are also created with code, and then generate a Blender file that, or actually not even a Blender file, but a Blender session that with minimal tweaking will be a finished piece. And then as I revise things, as I tweak things, I update my code base, my art pieces get updated as well. You might see some of that tonight with some of the Blender 5.0 stuff I'm working on. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'll probably be starting by copying an existing script here for this new project. All right, so here we go. Let's start by closing all this. Actually, let me just see. Yeah. Okay. Not sure what planet I'm going to use for this, so we'll just call it planet for now instead of Saturn. so the first thing that I'm going to do here is set up the ships, and let's see how I did this here. Yeah, so we're going to call my keyboard's giving me trouble here. These are all ship models that I've generated that I can kind of reference by name in my code here. And for starters, we're gonna just give both the ships basically a null rotation and translation along. And we'll lay things out interactively, and then bring those in Blender, and then bring those numbers back in here, so you don't have to do that every time. This actually. Okay. This is like the camera position. I actually want to have a non-global camera target here. I'm going to set it up, I think, so that the camera target is on one of the ships, because I want to set up a scene where we're kind of looking at one ship from another. And I think here, yeah, so here I kind of do this where so yeah, the cam parent, I think we'll have this be global, and let me just for now, I kind of like to have that global just for flexibility. But we're going to have this kind of near this first ship. And it will be really easy to swap these around later if you want to do that. We're going to want to have this be quite forward in Y. So we're kind of looking at the front of the ship that we're going to be looking at. So we'll start with 90 here. And And we're going to end up redoing the paint, or the materials, basically, on one of these ships. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that tonight, or if that will happen later. And actually, I haven't tested my old materials with my new compositor setup for one of these ships, so that'll be an interesting test. If it's absolutely hideous, then maybe we'll prioritize that. Otherwise, we'll just go on to something else. Okay. Yep. Otherwise, the old paint system. Boost the strength of the radiator glow for that one. Okay. Ew, nice. Okay, so actually I'm gonna have to fix some of my old materials. Alright, let's work on that. So this is basically the descriptions of the should be correct. Let's see, what does it not like? It does not like the type. Let me just see something there. Geez, yeah, this is really... Oh, interesting. So is that... Yeah, so that's not even correct. Wow. Yeah. Huh? Type is use and then use. That's what I was missing. So these dictionaries are basically just descriptions of instancing and updating of, or like copying and updating of materials that happens when the Blender scene is constructed. And I recently kind of refactored a bunch of this stuff to have a little bit more consistent format. Okay. So somewhere is going on here? Did I break this? This is interesting. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I did here. That's crazy. So I brought all that stuff out to the top level. Nice. Okay. Oh, okay. Man, can't read the logs. Okay, I was looking at the wrong spot. I was like, why are my new materials that I just redid not working? It's not that. It's something else. Okay. So yeah, we've got to add a copy equals true here. All these. Okay, our dry run is working now. So let's actually run this and see what we get. It's probably not going to be the prettiest thing, but okay, cool. So here's our two ships. And let's experiment with the layout here a little bit. So this is kind of the fun part. Now that we've got things interactive, and let's just see what this looks like with our new compositor. Oh, that's not too bad. What's going on here? Why is the Scioto paint on the Hammond? Oh. That maybe was part of my problem. Okay. Yeah. Derp. Okay, let's just close this stuff because I don't want to see it. Go. Okay, that looks pretty decent. Let's just for now, let's get rid of this. Let's turn this on to rendered view. Okay. And let's fix a few things here. So I want this to be not portrait. And okay, make this smaller. Okay. We'll have this ship kind of stay. Actually, let's just do this. So let's move this ship just to the origin. So that'll kind of be our home base. And then we'll set the camera up. And whoops. I'll set the camera up. So whoops. What am I doing here? Okay. There we go. We'll set the camera up so we're looking past it at this ship. And cam target. That's funny. I would have expected that. Oh, I wonder if that's because use rotation is false. Yeah. By default, use rotation is true. And let's just fix a couple of these things and just restart, because that's quicker. HPR. This has got to be a lot farther away. And this is going to be farther away too. All right. Oh, I didn't get that. I want not a portrait view. Yeah, the main thing here is that these ships are just way too close together. So that's funny. Okay. Yeah, see, we've got that relationship now between the camera and the parent that I wanted. Actually, I want these views swapped around. Camera view here, and I want this to be my kind of like layout view. I kind of want to be looking You know what? I think in my head, I was picturing this flipped around. So I was picturing... But you know what? This is kind of cool. Because a lot of my other pieces are going... right to left, so left to right might be kind of interesting. Okay, now this guy, it needs to be way farther away. Now, the challenge here might be, how do I make it look big and imposing, even though it's farther away? Because I don't want it to be quite this close. So we'll just do this a little bit at a time, see what we come up with. It's always an interesting challenge to kind of figure out I always have kind of a vague... Oh, my camera got disconnected from my parent. Have kind of a vague picture in my head until I actually start doing things here. I'm thinking we got it. If we want this ship to look imposing, it's got to be tilted and up, raised up higher. So let's then we can tweak this other ship too, so it's not exactly. Yeah. Now we got to bring that camera down. This. Okay. Now let's start rotating this guy a little bit. Now, let's see here. Let's play with camera position a little bit. Actually, let's just start seeing what this actually looks like rendered. Oh, that's sick. Now, I think maybe I'm picturing something. With the ship rotated a little bit more. And you know, I'm gonna turn. This is where I want this. I thought there was a way I could actually just straight up turn off everything outside the viewport. Now, we definitely need more. Rotation here. And let's bring that camera down a little bit. Oops. What's going on here? Oh. upside down. What is going on here? Okay, that makes more sense. Now this is starting to look like what I was picturing, but this ship needs to be higher and more completely in the frame. So let's try to get that now. Yeah. And yeah, we're probably gonna have to adjust that cam target's position. We want it to be back farther, right? Maybe we want it to be up a little. Actually, we want it to be below. Yeah, because we want it to be like we're looking up. So it should actually be beneath the ship. Yeah. And maybe we don't want this rotated. I'm gonna start playing around with the lights really soon because I want to get some better lighting on this. Just get this stuff out of the way. I don't know, that does look pretty cool. Let's pitch it up a little bit here. closer. Oh yeah. Okay. This is really starting to look like what I was picturing. Okay, so now let's play around with the lights just a little bit. So I can just play with the sunlight like this. Now, usually, I feel like the rule of thumb is you kind of want the sunlight, at least in my experience, you kind of want the sunlight to be sort of like perpendicular to the camera. So let's start. Maybe not from that side, maybe from the back side. Let's see here. That's kind of what we had before. Let's see, if I look down on this, can I do anything with this direction that makes sense? Not too much. Oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of the sunlight shining back. See, I kind of want it going the opposite direction. I want to catch those same surfaces from the opposite direction. Let's see what that looks like. And ignore these super bright highlights here. That can easily be fixed. Let's see here. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to turn the planet light off just a second. For just a second so I can see what the main light is doing here a little bit better. Planet light on. Okay, this is, we're gonna call this good enough for now. Let me just try one more thing, maybe some, this. Play with the camera position here just a touch more. Oops. Picturing something different than what I'm getting here. I want, let's see here. Maybe I'm working against myself with this tilt. So I'm picturing like not much of this ship in frame. I think that's it. I think that was part of the problem. That thing really wants a tilt, doesn't it? That's funny. Okay, I'm just gonna try one more thing here, and then we're gonna codify this. Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? If I have this aimed more at it. And then we've got to give that cam target a little bit more breathing room. Yeah. this guy tilt just a little bit more. Whoops. Tilt just a little bit more. Yeah. See, we can kind of adjust the, we can adjust that sun glare by tilting him a little bit too. Okay, I'm gonna save this file now as a layout. Okay. Now we can copy these transforms over, and we should be able to rerun our script and get this result right away. So let's do that. This actually looks quite good here. Excuse me. I'm not perfectly happy with the light direction, but we can tweak that. And I definitely need to go over and put my new materials on this ship because it doesn't look it doesn't look good. The new materials would look a lot better. Okay, so yeah, let's start getting this in. I'm just gonna bring my Blender window over here or my PyCharm window, because I think the Blender part's going to be more interesting here. So I'm copying these coordinates now. Let's see here. 2 degrees. All right, and let me just grab the, whoops, just grab the location of this. So if you do basically a Control-Alt-C, you can copy. I can't copy the rotations though because I need to put them back in a different order in the Python code. So we've got 7 degrees here. 6.3. 6.3. this is, yep. Okay, let me just double check these before I go on. Now I gotta do the camera. Ooh, that might have been causing some of our problems here. Okay. So, cam parent is 64. This I can copy. Alright, and then we just gotta get the sun. Angle. Scrap the location just because. And then the rotation. 62, 210, and 356. Get these stupid angles. All right. Should we see how we did? Let's save this so we don't lose it. Now back in Python. Let's see what we forgot. Oh. That actually looks right. Okay. That is really close. Something happened here with this position. I want to actually just open and compare. So we're going to just fire up another Blender instance and compare, because I spent a while tweaking that. Okay. So, just going to compare on my other monitor here. This. Oh, you know what it probably is it's probably just the rotation of this threw off the aiming of the camera. Actually, no, it's probably the camera. Okay, let's just try copying some exact numbers here and see if that fixes it. I think the problem is probably this. Oops. Nope, that's not it. let's see here. What else could it be? We are at 0 there. That's crazy that there's that much play in this. I guess that's kind of a good lesson, actually, that you can't always like set things up and round off numbers and expect things to work out. That's kind of funny though. Well, let me just see, can I copy all of these directly? That's a bummer. Oh, there's the problem. I had the camera itself moved here. Okay, so here's what I need to do. I need to copy these numbers and add them to my compare to. It's funny. Derp. Okay, I don't know if this is quite right. We're actually here. I'm actually going to just tweak this a little bit, and then we'll have an actual number. But because it didn't have quite so much room. Let's see here. I think it was something like this. That looks pretty good. We're gonna call that good. Okay. All right, that is looking good. Now, here's a couple things that we're gonna do. I'm gonna work a little bit on getting. Jeez, I don't even have panels on these. This model really needs some work. Let's see. What do I want to work on here? I want to work more on this. But what do I want to work on? Let's build out the new materials for this ship. I think new materials would actually do a lot for it and give us a little bit better sense of what this piece is actually going to look like. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. So we're gonna write some code here for a bit. This model is so out of date, it actually doesn't have a lot of things that aspects that some of my newer models have. Just in terms of models, but it'll be nice to get this stuff in here and sort of be ready to do some of that stuff. And some of that stuff might be nice nice streams over the next few days or weeks. So this is basically just a description of like how different materials are going to go onto the different parts of this model. And we're almost done with our playlist here. What is this mods right? What is this? Oh. It's red. Oh. That's just to increase brightness. Oh, this was drive. Okay. And we're just gonna forget all of these old materials here and do something else. So here, and let's get some new music going. We'll try this. Ooh, here's a good one. Atmospheric chill synthwave playlist, Sleep City. Hopefully it's not too sleepy, but we'll see. A bunch of this is decal stuff that we can get rid of, but I'm just gonna start by copying everything. And let's go back to our project, turn dry run on, and if we run this, this should fail because the materials list that we built isn't gonna match. Let's see. That's unfortunate. Oh, I know why, because I'm not actually invoking the correct apply. If I update this, then it should fail. Yeah, okay. So, first of all, let's get rid of all this decal crap. We can... add in decals later. I don't want to do decals tonight. I need to come up with a better abstraction for decals. It just... what I have now works, but I'm not satisfied with it. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's the creebles. Okay. All right. Now, yeah. So now we should be getting error messages that say like unexpected argument. So this is just the things that we're missing. So for now, let's fill in thruster. I think that's probably the main one that's missing. It's just going to be the same as drive. And let's see what else we're missing. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now let's okay, now what we can do is in Blender we can tweak some of these colors and update it here. And also look for any other obvious like colors or different things that we're missing. And just to make sure that we're not you know, just to make sure that we're looking at what we think we are, I'm going to make this a really offensive, like, pink color, so we know that we are looking at the right thing. Okay. So we should have a nice purple nice purple ship here. And gonna turn that off. And let's actually just turn off auto smooth. This will let us load the scene really fast. Okay, and oh yeah, it's purple. Okay, so let's I'm just gonna move my PyCharm window over here again. Let's tweak some colors now. So what I want is I want a oh, actually, yeah, I'm gonna want I do want the drives to be a different color. Actually, yeah, we won't worry about that tonight. We'll just get sort of a basic setup here. So let's tweak these colors. So basically I want this to be like sort of a greenish, like a dark gray that's got a greenish tint to it, if anything. Let's see here, maybe a little bit more blue. Oh yeah, that looks cool. So that's like 0.2, 0.27, 0.2. So that's quite dark. We could actually really brighten that up somewhat. No. So this down. 0.22, 0.3, 0.22. Let's try 0.25. Yeah. 3.25. Scratch color, I think we can leave. Oh, that's very green, isn't it? Not quite that green. We don't want it quite that green. It's like 0.28. Man, yeah, that really turns green quick, doesn't it? Now, oh yeah, this is way too high. The roughness min. This should be something more like 4. Yeah. That's interesting. Is that something that I changed for? That must be something I changed for this other ship. I like to have things be set up differently, but yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I'll boost it up a little bit. Like, yeah, even 0.5 is probably good. Okay, and then these things should not be yellow. They should be like a gray. Like a more pure gray. Or actually, they could be a deeper green. That looks cool. Yeah. A pretty saturated green that's also pretty dark. Take a, yeah, see this it's more blue. Should be more blue. It's very desaturated from this angle, but it's too silly, like overly saturated from other angles. I'm wondering now if, let's see here. This is a fine color for these parts, but this base color shouldn't be so green. That's looking a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna copy these colors off here. this. Will you let me copy that? Nope. 165. I feel like it probably does let me copy it somehow. That's fine for now. The edge color here is a little extreme. Let's figure out what the actual right setting for that edge color should be. And we could give that a little bit of a green tint too. If we want to make this look green. Rather than blue. I have these constants in my code that looked like I was able to copy this, but I don't know, I'm using the keys and it's not. Maybe, and it doesn't, maybe I just copied them one at a time. That's probably what I did. All right. That looks pretty sweet. Okay. All right. Enough. Let's get this run again and see where we're at. I'm going to turn auto smooth back on. That's interesting. So these are very green, and it's kind of casting like this green glow off the sunlight hitting it. That's a neat look. looks weird before the smoothing kicks in. But that's a cool effect. Yeah, this model definitely needs more work, but it's really cool seeing it in a piece like this. Let's fix a couple things here too. Smooth this on. Now, I want to try a special experiment here. I want to try a new version of this material that I made for Blender 5 just today. First of all, I just want to see if it works the same. Make sure everything is fine and dandy, and yep, so that looks the same as far as I can tell, but we should see, do I see the new structure? Update it. Okay. Found. Marked as an asset. What gives? Is there something else I have to do to have it show up in my asset library? There it is. There it is. So why is it not found? Hey, so Jander Benico says, "Hello, future innovator. God bless you, bro." Hey, thanks. God bless you too. Hope you're having a good evening, or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. I'm about ready to pack it up for the night, but I'm trying to get this material working. Why am I getting material not found? Oh, not found to instance. That's why. I did not add it here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And I want to try a couple things. So I was working earlier today on some fun material experimentation, and I think I just got to mark it as an asset in here, right? So actually, figure out how to. Oh, there we go. Okay. So mark a node group as an asset. Okay, it's just right here. Mark as assets. Okay. And this I haven't. So that should take care of that. Okay. Now let's refresh our asset lines right here. Refresh asset library. Should have multiple stripes. Okay. Check this out. So we're doing something simple here with color. Let's do something a little bit more complicated. Okay, so this is kind of like a dazzle, type paint, And I can see right now one of the things that I'm going to want is actually a tighter control over the angle of these. Let's see. We'll have this be the darker one. So I'm going to want to make range a parameter, but we can just go in and modify this for now. Oh, why can't I modify this? That's weird. Oh, is it because it that's weird. That's interesting. I've never seen that. Why can't I? Can I do anything in here? No, I can't modify it. That's interesting. Well, I was hoping to be able to modify this, but that's okay. Let's just see what this looks like. I want to see, does this look good at all when it's actually rendered? There we go. That looks really cool. That actually maybe looks even better than I was imagining that it would look. Let's fiddle with this just a little bit. So if I make this even darker, and then I make this brighter, it should really pop. Ho ho, look at that. That looks awesome. Wow. I can't believe how cool that looks. I definitely need to be able to control the angle. The angles. But wow, does that look cool. Let's see. Kind of widen that out a little bit too. Whew. Man, I'm glad I stayed up looking at this because that looks awesome. And see, like, we can do other colors too. this ship wouldn't have red stripes, but that looks pretty sweet. Yeah, let's just go back to white. Could also do a white background with black stripes. That might look cool too. Oh, that looks awesome. I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so I'm definitely on the right track with these stripes. Maybe 30 is too many. So this is using the repeat node for shaders to accumulate these stripes. And that looks pretty awesome. Something like that. That's a cool view. Awesome. And then just one last thing I want to try before I'm done here. So I need to swap around the order of some compositor nodes, but I don't know how much difference it actually is going to make. Let's see if we can even tell. So I'm thinking that maybe the lens distortion should go after glare. It really just does not look that different. And supposedly the way it's often done is exposure is done before glare. So to be able to control the glare better. Which, yeah, I think it obviously is controlling it better, but you could probably crank this up a little bit. It's got a more refined look to it for sure, but I'm not sure if I like it better. I kind of like the really washed out, like really heavy duty glare look, although that does look nice and sharp, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know, something I'm gonna have to play with more. I might actually set up my nodes where I have like two different exposure settings, or two different exposure nodes, and then I can kind of toggle them. I don't know if there's a way to do that where you could toggle like mute groups or something. Something like that might be useful to investigate. You do get a little bit more detail out of it, maybe. It's hard to say. Just gonna capture a nice screenshot of this for thumbnail, and then we'll be done. Thanks to everyone who has hung out watching with me. It's fun to work on this stuff in the evening, and I hope that you're encouraged to work on your own projects as well. Let's see here. Let's go full screen. And actually, this is just a nice image. I'll save a copy of this blend file as well. Does this look like anything? Kind of does. Maybe not the best view of the stripes, but this is kind of what we are working on. And you do get a decent view of them under there. Let's just tweak these compositor settings here. That does kind of look better, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, get this screenshot lined up. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Again, I hope that you are inspired to work on your own creative projects. I'd love to hear in the comments if you were working on something while listening to this stream, what it was. It's a big reason I do this is to try to encourage other people to work on things. I know I like listening to live streams when I work on projects, so I want to kind of pay it forward. But I'd love to hear what you're working on. thanks again, and if you're interested in this project, I'm trying to get back into streaming more often, and you'll definitely see more work on the things that we worked on tonight in the future. So thanks again for hanging out. Have a good evening.